I just forgot I should be recording this call. I tell you, by now you should have realized that this is our theme song. It's my time. And I know you feel the same way. You know, you heard the words, it's my time to rise. It's my time to shine. It's my time to live. I'm not going to stop till I win. Don't you like that? I mean, you need to encourage yourself. I literally am going to write something. I'm going to put one of those up somewhere on my refrigerator. Is my time, y'all. And so I tell you what, I know that personally, I don't give up on when things don't look like I think they should be, you know, things are not happening the way they should be happening, or things don't look the way they need to be. You cannot even allow that to enter your mind. You cannot even doubt at all. If you know anything about mindset, I think it's Wallace Littles or something. I have to get his book, but it's The Science of Getting Rich. One of the things about getting rich, and you know, not rich is not just money. It's you're not rich if you have money, you don't have good health. You can have all the money in the world, but you could be the broke. You could be the sickest person in the world, and you're not rich. Okay, you if you don't have relationships, if you're not emotionally stable, you're not rich. So he says you cannot doubt it. If you want something, you cannot let any doubt into your mind, else you will not achieve it. I will say this, last week, our topic, as you remember, was the law of attraction. And I know that personally, I've been trying to really, keep that at the forefront of my mind. And personally, I've attracted some things to me this week and very excited about that. And I hope you've done that too, keeping that positive mindset. So what I wanted to talk about tonight is this. Let me pull up my slide. Let me see if I can pull up my, okay. Okay, hopefully I'll be able to go to my email. I want to talk about tonight and remind you all of the incentive trips that we have that LifeWay has announced. Because this what I'm going to share with you is these incentive trips again, and then I'm going to also tell you how we're going to do it. That's what I'm really excited about tonight. So what the first trip is this, and anybody can make this one. And it's Cancun. You know, I know a lot of times we've said, oh, I've already been there, but it's nothing like going somewhere and you get to go free. It's nothing like having your airfare and your resort fee, everything covered. They won't even let you spend any money. So let me just tell you real quick, every single person on this call can qualify to go to Cancun, but you know who automatically qualifies? People who hit senior director. People who hit senior director between October the 2nd and February 4th. That's so simple to get to senior director. And you know, we're not going to go over how to get there because all of that is on thisisitteam.com. Go under the compensation plan and go down, and there are some templates to show you how to go manager, how to go director, how to go to senior director. You already know how to do that. And so, but the senior directors, if they just hit it, they're the to do it. Anybody else, if you're a manager, if you're director, anything else, you can still go by following the qualifications. And everyone every time you hit a rank, you get points. Every time someone you personally enroll hits a certain rank, you get points. Certain people that you sign up, whether they're preferred customers, preferred customer plus, or even just new enrollment, you get points on all of that. So, but if you're senior director, there is no restriction, no points or anything that you have to worry about. You just have to hit senior director, and we know that's 10,000 points. Having two directors, they can be both on the same side or one on each side. So that's the first one. Let's move on to now. This one, I am going to share a video. Now, before I do this, let me make sure I still have my sound on. Okay, got you. Have to make sure my sound is on this video before I go there. This is the one that many of us are excited about. I know we are personally excited about it. Let me play this video for you. Okay, let me get back to that. So here's the qualifications to get to do that Greek Isle trip. Now that this one is only eligible to executive directors through senior directors, but many of you can qualify for that. So here are the qualifications. If you are trying to qualify for this trip and you have not reached senior executive director, all you have to do is help one person become a director and you get a trip for one person. If you help two people to become directors, and they can be in the same leg. Let's say, for example, they don't have to be direct to you either. That's a beautiful thing. Let's say you personally enroll someone, but they didn't make it to director, but somebody under them hits director. Maybe another director is under that director, doesn't matter. As long as you have two directors, you will get two trips. But the beautiful thing about this trip, you guys, your airfare is paid for. The entire cruise is paid for. And we want to all go there together. We don't want, just two or three of us going. We want everybody to try to do this. And so there are other qualifications for the higher ranks. Take your time and go through that. Okay. Next one up, Bora Bora. Now you do have to be a senior presidential director, but you don't ever know. I have seen situations, and I will give you a little, let's see, hint or whatever you want to call it. There are people that have hit. Oh, let me back up. You have plenty of time. You have all the way to June the 2nd to hit the executive director level to do the trip for the Greek Isles. Okay. Now the Bora Bora trip is going to require you to be a senior presidential director. However, as I was about to say, you never know who is going to hit your organization. There are people literally right now that have organizations already in place in other companies, but they are hearing about LifeWave. I'm telling you what I know. People are hearing about LifeWave and reaching out to see, oh, you told me about LifeWave, but let me revisit it because I understand y'all are second company worldwide with momentum. Let me revisit, LifeWave. And then they come over with a whole team. Don't ever doubt. Remember what I said earlier, never doubt that you can't reach it because you can. Let's move on to the video. All right, all right. And now, let's do this. Let me tell you what the qualifications are. You just need to be a senior presidential director. You have all the way to June the 2nd. Remember, do not let any doubt enter the space. Do not, because you're blocking out possibilities. We talked about the law of attraction. I'm trying to share with y'all some of the secrets of being successful. You have to be positive and you have to attract it. And then it tells you that you need to be a senior presidential director, but you need to have 300,000 volume as a new rank. If you achieve it, you only have to do this for 12 weeks. That means you got all the way to June the 2nd, you guys. June the 2nd, let me be sure. Yeah, all the way to June the 2nd to qualify for this. You can do it. You can do it. Okay. So let's just all try to do some things together. Okay. Now, the way we're going to do this, I know you're saying, how are we going to do this? We are going to do what we're going to do. And let me pull this up. We are going next week. We just for 1 week, and we can try to see how that works out. Next week, we're going to have a Zoom marathon starting Monday through Sunday, the 17th. Here's how it's going to go. I know that personally, I have identified 12 people on my team. Now I've got leaders, like a Lester Berry, like a Juanita Kraft, like a Erica McQueen. I'm not talking about those people, but I've identified 12 people that I'm going to be doing Zoom calls. Here's how it's going to go. I was talking to a person earlier today that has brought on a new person that is ready to go. Guess what? It may be 4 or 5 people on Monday morning that she can pull together. But then guess what? The people that she brings on board, they may say, you know what? My mother needs this really bad. So in other words, we're going to go deep like we've always talked about. It may be the next day I do another Zoom call with that same person. In other words, your Zoom call, that's one of the key things we talked about, how to accelerate your business is to do launch calls, but I'm calling them Zoom calls because it's not necessarily people who just started out, but it's a Zoom call. Okay. But don't limit yourself and don't stress yourself out and say, oh, I got to have 25 people on this call. No. Go with who's ready. What we're talking about is speed. We're not talking about quantity. We're talking about quality and we're talking about speed. Okay. So get your people lined up. Start going through your organization and identify, hey, are you ready to make this happen? Who do you have on your team who's excited, who just got started? Okay. That's what we're going to do. And so I'm making a goal to myself to do 5 Zoom calls per day. How do I know? I just told you I have 12 people I've identified. So I might not be able to do all 12 people in one day. I may work with 3 or 4 people or 4 or 5 people in one day, 5 people the next day, whatever. It may overlap. And I may get some support with the leaders that are between me and those people. But I know that people have reached out to me for help, and I'm willing to do that. I heard 2 people I can think of off the top of my head that inspired me when they said they were doing 5 Zoom calls a week. I think Renita Brannon said she was one time, I don't know if it's every day, but one day she did like 8 launch calls. A launch call does not have to be a whole hour. I hate that kind of stuff. It can be 15 minutes. It could be 30 minutes. The point is you've got some people that may know a little bit already. It's almost like how you do a 3-way, but it may be just answering some questions. Who knows? Communication is key. So identify the people in your team who have that high energy, that are ready to go, and that want to make it happen just like you. Remember, we're going to take some trips, okay? Let's not let this time zone, this prime time frame escape us, and we don't take advantage of it, you guys. So what I want to do right now is I want to introduce you to someone who, is my visionary partner on this call. This guy is doing more Zoom calls than anybody I know personally. And he can tell you that they really do create momentum. And you hear from him every single week. He is an executive director out of Houston, Texas. Z, come on this line and give these people some excitement and confidence about these Zoom calls.
Well, first of all, I want to thank you so much for allowing me to speak. And it's always a privilege to host and be on a Zoom with you. I get so much information, and I like going on trips, and I've been thinking about these trips, but these videos got me really excited. And so we got to get on some of these trips, especially when they're free, all expenses paid. One of the things that I've learned over the last several months is that when you put yourself on fire, people really watch you burn, okay? And I'm real excited to be a part of this marathon because it's a mirror image of what I'm really all about. I love to work, as you guys know. And I don't really see any boundaries. And I've learned that when you push yourself to get really uncomfortable, just really completely raw, you will be amazed at the results of what takes place. And the more you do these private Zooms, the more you get fully engaged, your team begins to get engaged, and all of a sudden things begin to turn over. So I'm really excited about next week. And I have a personal goal, and I want to do at least a minimum of 8 per day. I've been doing around 3 to 4 or 5 per day in some cases, you know what I mean? But I really would like to see myself stretch and get totally uncomfortable. And 8 per day would be a great goal for me. So that's my personal goal during this next time frame. I told you guys earlier, well, not earlier, but this past week, that my personal goal is also to hit manager twice between now and the end of the year. Why? Because our peak season is the first of the year. And you want to go into that new year with some momentum. How do you do that? This marathon, this Zoom marathon can really put you guys in a position to really own that first quarter of 2024. There's some information that's been picked up through the radars over the last several days that we can't talk about right now, but there's some exciting things about to take place. Our corporate leadership is putting together a game plan for all of us to really, really hit the ground running. So I cannot go any further than that, but I do want to tell you this. You better put your seatbelts on because things are about to take place, and you don't want to be in a position where you miss out. This past week, I've been really listening to a lot of Dr. Miles Monroe, motivational information. And what I want to do, I want to share some of the information that I've been reading about this past week. The value of life is not in its duration, but it is in your donation. What are you doing to help someone else? You know, when you really understand the value of serving other people, helping them achieve the goals and things that they want, it's that kind of a priceless feeling you get when you help somebody. Just yesterday, I was driving down the street coming home from one of my projects, and my window was down, and this elderly lady was in the front yard, and I just waved at her. She said, "Hey, come back." And you know, I pulled over and said, "Yes, ma'am. What can I do for you?" This lady had an envelope in her hand that she needed to mail, and she had a $20 bill with the envelope. And this is what she asked me: "Can you please mail this envelope for me? And I need a book of stamps." And this is like, 5 o'clock in the evening, or 5:30 or so. I said, "No problem." She said, "Well, when you do?" I said, "I'll do it first thing in the morning. They're closed right now." But it was just the fact that she just flagged me down. Didn't know who I was from anybody else. In the yard, she looks like she's probably somewhere in her mid-90s. Just a real petite, wonderful angel. And I said, "Certainly, I'll do it." As a matter of fact, here's my card in case you want to contact me again. The lady called me maybe about an hour later and says, "Mr. Kendrick, how are you?" I said, "Fine." She says, Are you gonna bring those stamps?" I said, "Yes, ma'am. I'm gonna call you back first thing in the morning when I head your way with your stamps." And all evening, my mind was like, don't forget, you got to go to the post office, right? So this morning I go and I get her the $20 worth of stamps that she needed. I go back, I give her a call, and I go back. And it was just the look on her face that she appreciated so much that I said and I did what I said I was going to do. And so when you really understand the power of giving of yourself and sharing of yourself with other people, God will bless you in so many ways that you can't even imagine. He says also, our life is the sum total of all the decisions we make every single day. And those decisions are determined by our priorities. So often we prioritize the wrong things. One of the things that I want you guys to think about closing out this year, I want you to take a snapshot of what you've done in 2023. Have you really prioritized your decisions to really achieve the goals that you really set out to achieve this calendar year? And most of us go into the new year with, resolutions, things we really want to do. But unfortunately, life gets in the way and you kind of get thrown off. You got to find a way to turn the switch on and break the switch where it cannot turn itself back off. You've got to change what's in here. When you get a handle on that, see, it's not about your mom, it's not about your spouse, not about your children. your co-workers. No one has the power to change what's in here but you. And once you make that shift, make those changes, trust me, people around you will be on notice. And they will see through your actions that you make those adjustments. You got to change who you are right now. You got to see yourself as senior presidential director. If you cannot see it, it's not going to happen. If you think it's something for somebody else to acquire and not for you, if you don't really believe that you have those tools, the things that you really need to become the person that you really want to become, it will not happen. You have been given a gift. You're here, you're breathing, you got all these extremities, things are working. You have the power to make all those adjustments, but everything starts right here. Shift and make those priorities more important to you and forget about everybody else. True leaders don't invest in buildings, they invest in people. Find people, like-minded people who are going in the same direction that you want to go, and you link up with those people. They're self-motivated. You have to mold them and twist them and work with them as much because they understand where they're going, and you guys can go together. They're out there. Trust me. Everyone is on the Zoom tonight. You are a leader. Find people who see what you see, who want what you want, okay? And I guarantee you, you're going to be absolutely amazed how wonderful the journey would be to be with people that you have the same mindset. And last, don't die old, die empty. The most valuable soil on this earth has all the wealth and riches, nutrients. You know where it is? It's not places you may think. It's the graveyard. There's so many people who took those dreams with them, things that could have changed the world. There are people there who were the Michelangelos in the arts, who could have created some wonderful murals, who never even picked up a brush. The cure to all these diseases and things, cancer that we've been trying to get through for a number of years. There's somebody in the ground who had these gifts, these ideas, and never moved on it. You see, as long as God has air in your lungs and you have the power to make those decisions, change who you are, go after your goals, achieve the goals that you have always wanted. This is your moment. This is it. This is the time for you to turn it on and break the switch so that when we do take our last breath, no regrets, we can die empty. Back to you, Verdita.
Wow, Z, that was some powerful information right there. I mean, you talked about, don't die, don't die empty. Just pour everything out that you have serving others. That's what we're talking about. But and he also talked about being around people, like-minded people and investing in people. That's all we're talking about doing, you guys. If you partner and reach out to people on your team that are like-minded, you'd be so surprised how much it's going to energize you. So that's what our assignment is. This is what we're asking you to do. Make a list. Go, well, I tell you what you do. You go to your back office, go to organization, go to enrollment tree. That's the very last tab. Open that up and see who on your team you personally enroll, and just reach out to them and say, who in your organization, not only for people who are doing anything, who in your organization just got started, and turn that new person into an opportunity to do a welcome call with them. And in their welcome call, now you have control of the situation. You can pull it out of them and have them make a list right then and there. How's your mother doing? How's your dad doing? How's your sister? How's your cousin? How's your best friend? Just pull it out of them. Next thing you know, you are talking them into doing a Zoom, just so, hey, let us share the information directly with them so they know what you have your hands on. Let us share the testimonies. I had a person that I was on the phone with, I think it was yesterday. This lady told me that She was at a gentleman's house, and the gentleman had not walked for 3 years. He was in a wheelchair for 3 years. She put the patch on him, and not right then, but he'd been wearing the patch for about 7 days. I don't know why I said she put the patch on him, but he'd been wearing the patch for about 7 days. The 7th day, this man got out of his wheelchair and walked. Those are the kinds of testimonies you need to keep in your inventory. That's one of the things I suggested you do. Testimonies are the name of the game. They're the start of the show. If you can get your arsenal of testimonies, you can recruit anybody. But use your upline to help you do this. Let's make it happen, you guys. Just like the song says, it's your time. It's your time to live. It's your time to I gotta forget all the words. I gotta write this down. It's your time to rise, shine, and live. Let's make it happen. Let's go to the Greek Isles. Let's go to Bora Bora. I'm claiming it. I hope you are too. So with that, this call is recorded. I'll get it out to you tonight. Make sure you reach out to your people. Let's get ready. As Z said, we have access to some very exciting information, and I tell you, our lips are sealed because we will be killed if we tell everything. But you just need to know that some good things are about to happen. All right, listen, you all have a good evening, and let's get ready for our Zoom marathon next week. Get those names down. Oh, by the way, if you're on my team, make sure you call me and say, Verdita, I want to do a call. I want to do some calls, not one call, but you're going to go through your team and do several calls. If you can do them yourself, great. But I'm reaching out. Here's my number. I don't mind sharing it. 678-478-1333. If you're on my team, I'll be glad to work with you. You all have a wonderful evening. And Mr. Z, I'll talk to you a little bit later.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you much.
All right, superstar. Y'all have a good one.